Suppose Mr. Grimes had tried another approach.
Most of you are disappointed in the low grades you made on this test. So am I.
Here's a poem I wrote that expresses my feelings about
with that last problem on ratio. Now, perhaps I didn't do a good job explaining ratio.
Hell, I don't even understand ratio right now.
Ratio is commonly used in everyday life. Mother uses it in the kitchen when she takes a recipe for a big cake and uses proportional amounts of ingredients to make a little cake, or vice versa.
Whoa, it's a stitch in time.
Let's suppose a recipe called for 8 cups of flour and 4 eggs. I wanted to make a cake half that size. How much would I use?
All of it and then throw half out?
4 cups of flour and 2 eggs.
That's right. You boys use it in the shop when you read a blueprint. As you know, a blueprint's merely a scale drawing of something that's usually larger.
Oh.
Suppose I had a blueprint of a
So
bridge.
you should actually teach in a classroom. I've got it. Thank you.
But on this drawing, the bridge is only 10 inches wide. Now, how many feet would each inch represent?
10 feet.
That's right. Now, that's ratio. Now, let's see where we made our mistakes.
He's even creepier now that he's nice.
The problem was this.
I'm balding.
What is the ratio between 4.5 yards and 1.5 feet? Now, you looked hurriedly at 4.5 and 1.5, said the answer was 3. Well, that's where you fell into a trap.
My man trap.
What you forgot was that before you can divide, you have to reduce all units of measurement to the same unit. Now, what's the unit here?
Do we have to watch this?
That's
I've worked
right.
the last 15 years to forget this nonsense.
I sure fell for that one.
Huh?
First of all, let's change 4.5 yards into feet.
Right, etc., etc.
That gives us 13.5 feet.
Great.
And now we can divide 13.5 feet by 1.5 feet.
No one will be seated during the shocking dividing fractions sequence. Well, say what you will, it's still more exciting than any of the Star Wars prequels.
The right answer is 9.
Wow, I see where I made my mistake.
By waking up this morning.
Now, I want you to look over your papers very carefully and see where you made your mistakes. I'll come down the aisles, and if there are any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Yes?
No, from Dr. Williams.
About your urinary infection.
All right, thank you. I have to leave for a few moments.
I have a urinary infection.
On page 15 of your books, the first 3 problems are exactly like number 1 on the test.
Oh, this is
Suppose you do as
heartwarming.
many as you can until I get back.
Oh, and if you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? Ah, the glorious sound of good behavior. Hello?
I get the idea now. I sure messed up my test paper. I'm glad he's going over these questions. I'd never make head or tail out of them otherwise. You know, I'm beginning to get some sense out of this.
See, kids just want to be
I
taught
hope
some
I do
math.
better next time. I'd hate to bring another paper like this home. The way he explains it, it doesn't seem too hard.
Let's all behave from now on, agreed?
Oh, come on, cut it out. I want to do these problems.
Fiction alert, come on.
Oh, let's have some fun while Mr. Grimes is out. Who wants to do these old problems anyway?
Stone him! Why, you're mocking me. How delightful.
Now, you know where that board eraser belongs. That's where I put it there.
Grimes sure caught him in the act. Oh, Grimes is a pretty good egg.
These teens talk like my grandma. Now, is this injurious tension?
That's more like it.
That's an excellent caricature of me. Good job.
Now you're getting it. Let's see if you can do the next one.
Classroom control and learning efficiency are products of good teaching.
Boy, howdy.
Learning must be made meaningful. Interest in work for which learners see a purpose provides its own discipline.
Oh, narrator, you've such a way with
But in
words.
spite of interest and meaning, it must be remembered that some incidents will occur.
Involving Kiefer Sutherland.
Skill in handling such occurrences prevent their growth into problems.
Oh, that's a pretty good catch. For a moment, I thought you'd miss.
I'm sorry. sorry, but I owed him the apple.
Well, I guess a fellow's expected to pay his debts. I'd suggest, though, in the future you do your baseball practicing outside of class.
Not since Robin Williams and Dead Poets Society.
A friendly attitude with a sprinkling of humor goes a long way toward winning the regard and cooperation of the class.
Mm-hmm.
For respect is a more desirable molder of behavior than fear.
Are you watching this, Pentagon?
The development of mutual understanding between teacher and pupils will help eliminate disciplinary problems.
You know, it's really interesting to see what school was like back before this movie ended all disciplinary problems. What is this? The long goodbye? End already.